Hi everybody, it's Mike from Here the Watchmen, and we're here. It's Sunday. We just got done doing baptisms in the pool. Amazing, amazing stuff. The Holy Spirit is here. But today we're talking with someone who I really have always wanted to meet. It's Mr. Stewart Rhodes, the founder of the Oath Keepers. We just had breakfast together and had some wonderful conversation about how they don't want us to do what we're doing. And Stewart comes down from up north of here, drove a long way to get here. He's the keynote speaker at our luncheon today. Stewart, thanks so much, brother, for being here.
You bet, my pleasure.
You know, Stewart, a lot of people out there don't know what the Oath Keepers are or who they are.
Right.
We, of course, clearly know who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about how the organization started and what you stand for?
What we are is in a nutshell, is both current serving and former military, police, and first responders, like firefighters, EMTs. I was a paratrooper in the Army. Brian Kropman, who's here with me today, is a military veteran as well, and also was a retired DC Metro police officer. So what we do, what we are, is we're focused on the oath we all took in service, and we want to encourage those who are still in service to make sure they understand the responsibilities to refuse unlawful orders. And we also talk to the veterans and to average citizens as well about their responsibilities as Americans. And that's my topic today in my speech. So we do accept people who are not prior service as members. They can join as an associate, which I believe you just did, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the oath today.
Well, good. Congratulations. So, because we look at it like this, we're all in this together. You know, the founders did not design our republic to contain a separation from the people and the military function or the people in law enforcement function. You know, the people were the militia, which is the military function, and the people were also the sheriff's posse.
Right.
And so the hue and the cry would go up in a town and they would go take care of it. So whatever it is, whether it's a foreign invader, whether it's an insurrection, whether it's criminals, it was a responsibility of the people to take care of business. And so what we want to do is tear down those barriers, it's been an intentional divide and conquer for the American people. We want to tear down the barriers between the police, for example, and the community. Unite the warrior class, as I call it, bring the police back together with the people, with the gun owners, with the veterans, so they can take care of their community themselves all together. Not, all you do is go make money and pay the bills and pay your taxes,
right,
and leave the security to the police,
right,
to the professionals.
So it's kind of like you're building a community.
Absolutely. Well, getting back to a community.
Right.
Right. This is the founder's design.
Right.
So their design is we take care of each other in our community, and we all pitch in. Like right now, my son's a volunteer firefighter in Montana, and he's out fighting a forest fire. So as an example of being engaged and being
right,
part of your community now.
Right.
So we recommend that folks do things like that. That's my top.
You know, it's interesting. Jeannie and I, 2 years ago, left California, and we live in a very small town in the mountains up in Idaho, very close to you, really. And what we noticed once we got up there is that community thing, where being the newbie coming up here from sunny California to Idaho, where last winter was the worst winter that we'd had in 20 years. When I'd run into a problem, I would call a neighbor, and the neighbor would call another neighbor. And it's all one community where we connect up. You don't call the fire department, you don't call the police to come bail you out. You band together, and that's kind of what you're talking about, right? Band together.
But I would bring your local volunteer fire department into that orbit,
right?
And your
right,
local police department
right,
if you have one. I mean, where I live right now, we actually don't have any police officers.
Right. Yeah.
The nearest police officer is a sheriff deputy. Like 2 on duty in the entire county, so right, really you're pretty much on your own.
You're on your own, and that's the way.
When it comes to self-defense,
that's the way. Yeah, that's what when we moved out there. You go down to the courthouse to register your car. There's no DMV. You go down and go in the sheriff's office, and the guy that did it, he and I got to talking, and he said, "Well, where do you live?" And I told him, "Well, up here above the airport, right?" I'm not talking about an international airport. I'm talking about a little landing strip. And he says, "Oh, yeah, it's really nice up there." He goes back, because I just want to let you know, it'll take us 30 minutes to get there if you've got any problems. He goes, "You really need to be prepared to take care of yourself for that 30 minutes."
Did you know you're from California?
Yeah.
That's why he gave you that spiel.
Yeah.
Right.
So, But I love what you guys are doing now. Let's just and I don't want to put you on the spot but just for maybe a couple of minutes. What's your read on this whole thing in Charlottesville?
Setup. I think it. Here's what's happening. I know we've done a whole lot of time. We did an hour and a half long interview with me and Navy Jack, one of my intel guys, with John B. Wells the other day, all about this. So I encourage you guys to watch that. But basically, what's going on is that you've got globalists who have funded the radical left, which everyone understands, but they're also funding the so-called radical right, the actual, white nationalists and because you got guys parading around in Nazi uniforms.
Right. Yeah.
So that's just tailor-made.
Yeah.
So Antifa, the anti-fascists and all the communists who want to, they've been calling us all racist for 8 years now, during Obama's administration. That was the only attack they could possibly raise against us, was this fake, false attack saying we're all racist. So now they've got these, tailor-made to order actual Nazis running around in Nazi flags and uniforms, so they can point to that and say, see, they really are racist. And these people are being funded by the same globalists.
Oh.
So they're funding both sides of the extremes.
Right.
So the people in the middle who just want to live their lives in freedom and want to, people who are Christian conservatives who believe in the message about going out there and showing the light to everybody of every race, they're in the middle. On the fringe are these far actual Nazis. And in fact, quite a few of them are in the occult, which is no surprise. Right?
No surprise.
Like Augustus Invictus, one of their frontmen,
right,
actually is in the church that Aleister Crowley founded.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it, but he sacrificed a goat and everything.
Right there.
So right there. So this is who they are focusing, and that's who gets all the media attention. That has all that money behind them. So they're paraded around in Charlottesville. And so now the left can say, see, we were right all along.
Right.
Everybody's a Nazi.
Right.
And so that helps to demonize and marginalize the Patriot movement.
Right.
And demonize and marginalize the Make America Great Again movement under Trump.
Right.
That's the whole point. And it's really a coup against Trump. They're trying to send him
I agreed with that. I mean, and that's what I thought. It is a coup against Trump.
That's the ultimate goal, is he's a monkey wrench who got thrown in. We overwhelmed their corruption, their vote stealing, and packing the vote with illegal aliens, and they thought they had Hillary locked in. We overrode that with because of the mass discontent over the system. So they have to stop that.
Right.
So you got to make it so horrible and such a crisis that they can point to him and say, see, the country's falling apart under Trump. The only way to stop this is to remove him under the 25th Amendment, saying he's incompetent.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do.
Right.
So in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So it's a soft coup. Right now it's a soft coup
Right.
against Trump, being orchestrated by not just the Democrats, but also the Republicans around him.
Right. Well, listen, Stewart, I really want to thank you for being here. We're looking forward to hearing you speak today, and if we have the time for me to take the oath with you, I mean, what an honor!
Absolutely.
What an honor that would be to do that. And so, folks, you can tune in on our Vimeo channel. All you got to do is go to hearthewatchman.com. Use the promotional code Boise20. It's available for 6 months. You'll see Stewart speaking later today. You got all the other speakers there. It's coming out in HD quality. Wonderful, wonderful thing. And we are blessed. The Oath Keepers, we've made Stewart and I have talked, and they're going to really work to help us with security. And he and I talked about a couple of things that happened to my wife and and I think he believes we need somebody watching our back. We all need to watch each other's back. But until the next time here on the Watchman's Report, God bless each and every one of you. Remember, don't be afraid, be informed. We'll see you again next time.